March 5th, 2025. A Nigerian man walks into an Albany, New York courtroom and pleads guilty to bank fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. The man was part of an international crime ring operating in the United States that defrauded millions from innocent victims. Today, we're going to expose the crime ring, the fraud, and the people behind it. The ringleader is a man who has been evading authorities for decades. This mastermind is the brains behind the organization that consists of dozens of supervisors, managers, and runners, all orchestrated to commit fraud against regular people. Here's how the scam worked. Oluwaseun Adekoya, the ringleader, would obtain personally identifiable information like names, addresses, and social security numbers from illicit sources. He would turn to the dark web and purchase lists of people's personal information that are easily available. These lists are created by hackers, mostly in Eastern Europe, who break into computer systems here in the US and steal information. Whenever you hear of a major data breach, this is what they're talking about. These lists are then sold to any criminal willing to pay for it. Oluwaseun Adekoya was one of these criminals. Once the ringleader has a list of PII, or personally identifiable information, he would then instruct his managers and runners to commit the crime. They would make fake IDs and open bank accounts and lines of credit using the stolen identities. They would scour social media looking for copies of checks. Searching for the hashtag #MyFirstPaycheck would bring up the routing numbers and account numbers they could use to forge fake checks. They would then deposit those checks into the bank accounts they opened under other people's names. The runners would also use the stolen identities to open lines of credit at stores like Saks Fifth Avenue. The stolen money was used to buy Rolex watches, Mercedes-Benz, and high-end clothing and apparel. This scam was repeated over and over across the country. Hacking people's identification, opening accounts in their name, taking out loans, and buying luxury items. In all, this group of scammers made away with over $1.7 million of stolen money. The worst part is the ringleader, Oluwaseun Adekoya, had been in the country illegally for decades and had been arrested before for this same type of scam. Over 14 law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, immigration, state, and local police, have finally brought this group of criminals down. They are now being charged with conspiracy to commit bank fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. Now let's go back to the courthouse in Albany. You see, when one of the runners got caught, he started snitching on the others in exchange for a lesser sentence. Now the police have all the evidence they need to bring the entire organization down. They have interviewed each suspect, and some have already pleaded guilty. Now the big kahuna, a Nigerian here illegally named Oluwaseun Adekoya, will have his day in court, and it's gonna be ugly. Prosecutors have already decided to throw the book at him. He is facing 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, 1 count of money laundering conspiracy, and 9 counts of aggravated identity theft. He is facing 30 years in prison for bank fraud, 20 years in prison for the money laundering, and a mandatory 2 years in prison for each identity theft. That's a total of 68 years in the big house. If he survives, he will have the privilege of paying back restitution and being deported back to Nigeria. Now, what are some of the lessons we can take away from this crime? Well, first of all, never, ever post things online like your driver's license, a check, or anything else that is considered PII, or personally identifiable information. Criminals are everywhere nowadays, and you just can't give them your information. Anything that has your mailing address, date of birth, your social security number, or even the bank you do business with, those are all considered PII. But your information could also be hacked from one of the companies that you do business with. So always be on the lookout for any changes, like a new account that mailed you a statement. That could be a sign that your information has been compromised. Never give out PII to anyone who calls you on the phone, sends you a text or an email. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please hit the like button so we can bring you more criminal cases caught in the act. Thank you for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.